My guest at this time is the Southern Psycho. He is the man known as Mance Warner, and he can be seen now every week over on adfreeshows.com with ManceSplainin. Mance, welcome back. Welcome back to the Daily.
How's it going, brother? Good to be on here. Y'all doing all right?
You said y'all. Y'all is more than one person. I am doing fine. I'm great. How are you doing?
You, me, and my cat's running around. So we've got a couple people out here.
Okay, cool. Gotcha. All right. Never mind. Y'all is my favorite, by the way, my favorite Southern word, because I grew up in Texas, is y'alls, because it's the only word with like 2 apostrophes in it.
There you go. It all works, baby.
Fun one. Well, Mance, this is very exciting, man. You have found yourself in the Conrad Thompson bubble over at adfreeshows.com. Talk to me about ManceSplainin. How did this thing come together?
So basically, it's mansplaining. It's old Mancer sit down. I drink my beers, I talk, and I explain stuff, man. So the way I kind of explain it all the time, I do my mansplaining is we're all pro wrestling fans. There's always some time that our old lady or girlfriend or wife, whoever it may be, significant other, comes in and they see us watching wrestling and they give us shit and they make fun of us and they don't know why we watch it.
Right.
So the whole premise of the show, I sit down and it's awesome because most of the time it's somebody's girlfriend or wife and they don't watch pro wrestling. They don't really understand it. They're not a fan.
Right.
I always find out by the end of it, they may not be a fan, but they kind of understand a little bit more. And it's always fun, man. We're always cracking jokes, having a good time. They're drinking, I'm drinking, and we do a lot of shit talking. And it's a good time. Adfreeshow.com, man. Get on there, watch it. It's good shit. I enjoy it.
So this is more about you introducing more wrestling novices to the world of pro wrestling through your very specific set of eyes, right?
Yes. It's cool too, man, because it's one of the things that I notice is, like I said, they're not pro wrestling fans. They just watch it because their boyfriend or their old man or husband watches it.
Sure.
But they have questions that we don't ever get. They'll ask stuff like, why is their hair wet when they're walking out to the ring?
Great question. What, you want to tell us the answer to that?
Well, I'm bald, so I don't have the answer right there. But what I always say is if I got hair like Roman Reigns, I would wet that shit down. You got to. There's a lot of questions that we don't think about because we're in the bubble of pro wrestling.
Sure.
So it's cool, to sit there and try to mansplain all this shit when they're coming at it with questions where there's stuff we don't even think about.
Yeah. Look, do you have some other examples here, like the hair wet thing? Is there something else that came to you recently that somebody needed?
Oh yeah, that a lot of when we sit down, they'll have questions about like, well, why are they wearing jeans, or why are they wrestling in sweatpants, or why is the referee out there when there ain't no fucking rules?
Right.
Good shit, man. That that we don't really think about because there's times where I go, well, why the fuck is a referee out there if the whole point of this is they just got to climb a ladder?
That's a great, that's true. You really just need a timekeeper in that situation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did this come together then, man? Where did the idea for ManceSplaining come from? Was it you, or did Conrad come to you with this idea?
Conrad, man, he's good at that shit. He's got ideas. They always work.
Yeah.
I got eyeballs and I could talk, and I'll sit here and I'll watch wrestling and talk. So it works out for everybody involved. It's an idea that I hadn't heard before. So I basically get to sit down. And at first I was even wondering, I was like, so I'm just basically going to watch pro wrestling. Why the hell would anyone want to watch me watch pro wrestling?
Yeah.
And then you get into the mix and it makes sense. And I go, oh, this is perfect. I'm having to mansplain this as only I can to people who don't watch wrestling and they hate watching wrestling. So I always have fun with it. It's always a good time on there.
So the people that you talk to, do they bring to you like what they're wanting to watch, or do you like bring something to them? Do you get to pick what they're watching and you guys do a mansplaining about?
So it's awesome, man. Basically it's the people that are on adfreeshow.com, fans on there. Yeah. So they pick a fight that they want to watch, and then we sit down. I don't watch it beforehand. I've watched everything at some point, but I don't want to watch anything before. I want to watch it at the same time they're watching it. And then there's system questions to where you go, well, goddamn, I ain't thought about that. Why is there a referee out there? Why is Mick Foley wearing 3 shirts right now? And then later on, he's got barbed wire on, and it makes sense. But at the time we're going, well, hell, I'm walking us through it, but it's chaos, man. I love it. I'm drinking, they're drinking. It's just a whole bunch of shit talking, and it's great. It's always good, man.
Well, I just watched back the TLC match from WrestleMania 17. You were telling me just before we got on the air that you would just watch that match back. I mean, man, I've seen you do some really insane stuff. I was there in Dallas, I believe, is where the barbed wire match was with you and Jimmy, right?
Yes.
I mean, I've seen you bleed buckets. What was it? But I mean, by your standards, what was it like for you watching back that ladder match? I mean, how was that? There was some pretty gnarly stuff in there.
Oh, it's cool, man. It's cool to go back and watch those contests like that, them fights, especially with people that aren't really fans, you know, that
Yeah.
they've seen stuff, but they don't watch it every week. So there's times where, you know, they'll go, well, this is entertainment, but that shit's got to hurt. And it does. So then it's cool for me to explain to them, you know, that shit, it feels horrible. That's a real ladder. And a lot of times they'll ask, like, well, is that a real ladder? Or that ring that's like bouncy, right? That don't hurt. And then you got to explain, well, no, that's his wood with some shit on top of it. That hurts.
Yeah.
You know, so
yeah. But a lot of people are very interested in the ring, you know?
yeah.
Like, there is a lot of mystique around what is a wrestling ring, you know? And really on the indies, a wrestling ring can be kind of almost anything.
Oh man, yeah. There's some rings that you always hear people talk about back in the 80s at WWF, you know, their ring felt like cement. And you know, until Vince got in there and then he said, we got to change this shit up. That shit hurts. Still hurts. But, you know, you'll be in like Tennessee or some random, like, there's a couple times out in Chicago when I was first starting where people are renting a ring, you know, so they bring a ring and you get in some of these old school fucking rings that they all hurt, but some of them old school ones feel like I'd rather take a bump on the cement than get in the damn ring.
Yeah. Well, you know, talk about you taking bumps in the ring, man. You know, I'm really interested in what you're going to be doing here in 2021. You know, obviously the reason you get to do these cool shows with Conrad and talk to fans and everything is because you have some notoriety. And like, I think the place that most people probably have seen you on a national TV stage up till now has been with MLW, but I haven't seen your name kind of bandied about here since MLW's done the restart. What's going on here with you and them?
Well, I think people have seen that before on the dirt sheets out there. Old Manser did ask for his release from MLW, but you've seen that on dirt sheets, and that's kind of where we're at right now. That just is what it is.
Okay.
So where I'm going to be or what I'm going to be doing, I'm always going to be at GC Dub. You can see me at Game Changer Wrestling.
Sure.
You know, IWA Mid-South, I'll be there this weekend. But with all the shows being canceled, and now we don't really know if things are shutting down again or, you know, there's a vaccine coming out. We don't know when, you know, have you got one?
I don't have a vaccine. No.
You know, that's what I'm saying. So we don't know when everything's going to come back. So for right now, I know I got Game Changer Wrestling going on. I got an IWA Mid-South show coming up this weekend. But after that, I got no idea what's going on.
So wait, so you've asked for your release from MLW. It sounds like you haven't been granted. Do you have even if you don't get granted, is there like is there a time when it just kind of comes up? Is it going to be convenient for you, or what are you going to be able to kind of maybe? I guess what I'm asking is, when are we going to be able to see you? I guess on another national platform.
Well, that's all Manser knows right now, man. I mean, that was a little bit ago. I saw that on the dirt sheets. Yeah. People were talking about it back then, and then that's all we know. Yeah, so I'm just kind of doing my thing, wrestling when I can, doing a Game Changer Wrestling GC Dub, and then here we go. That's his.
And I know
maybe y'all find out before me on a dirt sheet or something. I don't know. I just kind of drink my beers and do what I do.
Okay, fair enough. Well, you know, you brought up IWA Mid-South. I actually just interviewed another IWA Mid-South guy yesterday, and that was Jake Crist, who just left Impact Wrestling. Have you? I mean, I would guess that you've had a chance to work quite a bit with Jake then at this point. Yes.
Oh, multiple times, man. Yeah, he's one of the guys that helped me out when I was breaking in. I started going to IWA Mid-South when I was first starting. So I was like, I think 3 months in, and I started going there because anyone that knows anything about independent pro wrestling knows IWA Mid-South is a place that you go and make a name and you learn because there's so many people there. People always come back. When I was there, you had Chris Hero coming back all the time. Tracy Smothers would be there every week. I'd sit with him in the corner and he would just knowledge, man. He'd give you knowledge, you know. So sitting with him and Mitch Ryder, you know, Ian, there's all them people there every week that when you're back there, the time period when I was like going there every single week, you had all them guys. And, you know, I credit that to getting me to where I kind of got to because you learn so quick. You're in front of the same crowd on Thursday and Saturday. You can't do the same shit. You got to learn how to mix stuff up. It's like I always joke around. It's one of the last territories, man, because it's people coming in and the stories there and the people there have seen everything. So you got to give them something different. And if you can't, you're going to have to go somewhere else because they're going to tear you up in that ring. So
Yeah, and just with Jake here, real quick, talk to me about what it's been like to work with him. You know, I feel, and ever since I put the interview out, I guess just even a couple couple hours ago, I've already gotten feedback from people that seem to be upset. This guy kind of got a rough shake here the last 6 months at Impact. Seems like he got tied up with his brother and the Joey cancel culture stuff, and I feel bad for the guy, what he's kind of been through the last.
Yeah, I mean the knowledge that he has, man. I mean he's one of those guys where me and him will joke around about. Nowadays, a lot of people just like calling a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
But every time from like the first time I ever worked with him, we don't. We just go out and work, So we'll go out there for, 15, 20 minutes and we're just going out there and reacting to what the crowd wants, So I think that's a cool. Now, Helen, calm down there. My cat gets wild every time.
I hear the cat. The cat is like a big Jake Crist fan, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah. But that's for me, it's cool because you learn so much more on the fly out there in front of people where you're just reacting,
Yeah.
You don't have time to sit there and think and go, oh, I got to do this shit. And I got to do this bullshit. So he's one of those guys. I mean, he's been wrestling forever too. Like, I remember him telling me stories about he was in high school going to HWA out there in Ohio, with the guys they had there. And then HWA became WWE were bringing in people there when WCW closed down that day. So it's like he's seen so much. He's been everywhere. He's done everything. He was at Combat Zone Wrestling. He was at every place you could Impact, every place you could think of, I remember watching him at a damn Ring of Honor show back in the day. So it's just like, it's cool shit, like to be in there with the guys that I, grew up watching on like bootleg tapes where, you get them on the internet and then all of a sudden you're getting to work with these guys. So, he's a fucking man, dude.
Yeah. Well, one other guy that is kind of like the man that I wanted to get your take on. Obviously you wrestled for WCW. I mean, everybody remembers Mance Warner from WCW. How do you feel about fellow WCW icon Sting getting back? I mean, I would guess that's got to get your feelers up, man. I think that resonates with you.
That was fucking awesome. When he the lights went out and then he comes walking out there, I lost my shit, man. Because it's cool. You gotta think about it too, where I think even some of the newer fans, the younger fans get it because of the network, So nowadays you can watch WCW, you can watch everything. Everything's on there, Mid-South, everything.
Yeah.
ECW. And the younger fans, I think they even got it. They were like, wait a minute, this is on TNT. Stinger's coming out. Tony Schiavone's calling it. Schiavone loses his shit. Everybody lost their shit. And then the next day, Twitter too, instantly. But then the next day, you got people that don't even watch wrestling talking about, fuck, man, you see Sting was on TNT. My uncle lost his shit and was calling me up and was like, hey, man, Sting was on TNT again. So, that's cool shit, man.
Well, and here's the thing, man. It's like look, Pillman, Havoc was there, but Havoc's obviously gone, right? But like Pillman, MLW guy, walked the line. He's like about regular now on Dynamite every week. Obviously I think that you've got friends there. People could see you there. What I'm getting at is, man, 2021, is that when we get Mance Warner Sting? Do you think that's in the cards here for 2020?
Who knows, man? That'd be some wild shit though, man.
Yeah.
Sting with the eye poke, you hit him with the old knee pad up, knee pad down. You never know, baby.
I mean, it does seem like you would work well with Sting. And look, Conrad, I hear, has got friends over there too. So like you're under his umbrella. He's the one to like ask to send the message over there, Well,
I can tell you one thing, man. I ain't gonna be hitting no dives. That's the only thing I know coming into this year. I won't be hitting no 450 dives or nothing. If I'm outside the ring and someone's coming to dive, I'm running. If I'm around a circle of people, I'm gonna lock in a sleeper hold, and I'm using the body in front of me to hide from the dive. So that's all I know so far with the dive situation, all that shit going down.
Wait, whoa, why? I know we're at time here, but like, why are you so anti-dive? Why are you going to let people fall to their deaths and you're not going to catch them?
Hey, man, I'm old school, baby. I'll hit you with an eye poke as you're coming through with one of them, what do they call it, a pescado or some shit through the middle? Eye poke, baby.
Okay, boom. All right.
Hook the tights, 1, 2, 3. That's all you got to do.
The eye poke god, Mance Warner. Well, Mance, that brings us to time here. Thanks so much for just, mansplaining to me what's going on.
I do, baby. Adfreeshows.com. Get on there, sign up. I don't know how much all this shit costs, baby. I don't pay attention. I just talk. So get on there, sign up. Now, the way it works too is if you want your wife, girlfriend, whatever to be on an episode, you just get into the comments down there and you know, hit up the people that run it and they set it up. I'm doing it every week, sometimes 2 times in 1 week, whatever it may be. It's always fun, man. I have a good time doing it. It keeps me busy because we ain't got a lot of goddamn shows going on.